All the 2,400 fans that went to Coventry might not have bothered. You could have saved your money because Liam Manning is not worried about the way results. So strange comment. We're exploring the Coventry result with our team this week. And should the summer recruitment now be put under the microscope? Because something clearly has gone wrong. Welcome back to A Robin's Walk. AI is going to predict all the away fixtures for Bristol City. And following on from last week, we are adding to our worst ever Bristol City 11 and adding some strikers to our team. If you missed it last week, they put Nikita Haken in goal. Who are you putting up top in our 4-4-2? Welcome to Where Robins Walk. Yes, we got Sam, Ethan, Liam, and Ben. Thank you very much for joining us. 200 views last week. We are really, really happy with you supporting us. If you could just drop a subscribe, we can nearly get to 100. We're about 20 away. Can you do that for us? Help us out. Right, bit of a moaning shop, I think, this week. Is it going to be then? Let's kick it off. Ethan, let's start with you this week for a change. You travelled to this one, spent your hard-earned money, and then you heard your manager say that it doesn't matter about away results. How does that make you feel?
Yeah, not great, to be fair. You know, it's a lot of time and a lot of effort and a lot of money that goes into it, like you say. And when that doesn't get reciprocated, yeah, you do start feeling a little bit down, and especially when the manager sort of disregards it. I think every game is as important as the other, whether you're home or away. So, yeah, I don't really get that comment.
Was it a bit disrespectful, Sam, to the fans, or does he not mean it in the way it came out?
No, I think it's a misinterpreted comment, but you know, when we pay our hard-earned money to go and watch him away, and then he comes out and makes a comment like that, I do take it. How do you take it?
Yeah. Let's talk about the game itself. I mean, we are recording this before the midweek game, so we don't know how that has gone. We're looking ahead to Blackburn in a second. But Liam, how did the boys do for you? There's lots of negativity online, but not bad.
Yeah, it was dire. Again, it's the same story. Too many players off it. Too many sloppy mistakes. Can't pass to each other. Lack of idea on the ball, hitting it long into Naki Wells when he's got three centre backs who are 6 inches taller than him. We weren't playing through the thirds. And when we did get on the ball, the pass, I don't think I saw Max Bird pass to a black shirt yesterday. I literally think every time I saw Max Bird pass it was either too far ahead of someone or he passed to a Coventry player. By far his worst game in a City shirt yesterday, I think. Yeah. Just all over. I can't say there was a single player out there that deserves any credit, really.
Well, okay. Let's have a look at some social media takes. They weren't pretty. Aidan says, Ben, I don't know if you agree with this. I'm sorry, it's not acceptable. So many times now, fans have travelled hours spending money for the football club, but the fans aren't provided with anything. So many clear-cut chances missed. Sort it out. And why is it, Ben, when you get the 2,400 following, that the team just goes to pot? It's happened so many times this season when you've sold out your away end. Is it the mindset of the players?
Yeah, I'd love to give you a great answer. I honestly have no idea why. The players should be playing so much better than they are doing away from home, especially with the great backing that they've had on so many. The backing has been great on so many occasions this year, and we just haven't performed. I'm not sure if it's feeling intimidated going to an away ground or just not performing on the day. There could be multiple reasons, really, but it's got to change because, yeah, like they said on the tweet, fans are paying their hard-earned money, and they're just not really getting much back from it, really.
Yeah. Ollie says Derby, Portsmouth, West Brom, and now this we never change. There's a couple more. I wanted to get this one. Ethan, Chris says 1-0, and he sticks to the same system, one up top. So predictable and boring. Yet when it's the other way round, the opposition throw the kitchen sink at us and get something out of the game. It sums Manning up. Do you agree with that?
To a certain extent, yeah. I think it was just an unacceptable game plan yesterday. You got Viner thinking he's De Bruyne, spraying pointless balls out from the back repeatedly. Knight and Bird were unbelievably poor. I know Leah mentioned Max Bird, but I also thought Jason Knight probably played one of his worst in the City shirt as well. Hayden Roberts, for me, is nowhere near the standard we need. And yeah, like you say, Coventry threw a few men up top and got the goal. So fair play to them. They deserved it probably slightly more than us. They weren't great, but we were, like Liam said, dire.
Sam, another one. Pete says we're so married to not changing system in game that we ended up with Sykes and Bell as wing backs and you playing central. It was absolutely mental. Are you seeing a stubbornness from Manning more so than we perhaps have?
Yeah, 100%. Like Ethan said, when we need to go up against it, he just makes changes like for like. And there's no when we can change and go 2 up top or bring someone just in the number 10 position. He's just not doing it. It's like for like changes week in, week on, and it just doesn't work at the moment.
Let us know what you think, of course, in the comments like you always do. Liam, having said all that, though, there wasn't really any Bristol City fans calling Manning out in the comments. They were calling out the recruitment in the summer and asking there to be a forensic look at what the hell went on, not in the week that led up to this game, but actually in June and July. Jack Collins says, I find it difficult to understand how we spent $6 million on 2 strikers who are the worst in the league. John says, that was awful. Tired, no composure. Everyone awful. We should be asking questions about our striker recruitment last summer. Mid-table mediocrity. Again. Is this a valid point your fans are making?
Yeah, I completely behind it. I don't know what the recruitment team saw in the likes of I'm not going to dig him out, but Miuli, he wasn't even involved in the squad yesterday. Even Armstrong to agree. Armstrong scored 3 goals in 60 odd games for QPR. Why we've spent $2.5 million on each of them, it's beyond me. It's a joke. I just don't. I don't know what they see in those players. They literally. I don't think they've shown anything. The only thing I think with Armstrong is he's got the pace and the power, but it's almost like every time he wants to receive the ball, he stood in an offside position. I could probably count 2 or 3 times. He played 15 minutes yesterday, and I reckon he was offside more times than he received the ball. He doesn't need to do that because he has that absolute turn of pace. But it's like watching a 5-year-old play football. He's got no football nous upstairs at all.
Can we bring back Semenyo? Can we bring back Semenyo?
But yeah, I think the recruitment team needs looking at, and I don't want to say it because Tinnion's a legend at the club, but I think he's going to be held accountable somewhere along the line because he's the one that signs off on these deals along with John Lansdowne.
Yeah.
I think I even put it in my tweet from the board right down to the players. The mentality in the club at the moment is shocking.
Was selling Conway a bad idea then, Ben?
If he didn't want to be at the club, then I think it's the right move for him and for the club. But in terms of having a good player, then definitely, because he was way more capable than anyone else we've got at the moment. More capable than Wells for me, and I think he's a very good player. But if his mindset wasn't where he wanted to be and he didn't want to be at the club, then I think maybe selling him probably on balance might be the correct thing to do.
Okay. It's a frustration one, isn't it? I think it's a frustration all of you feel because you've had a decent Christmas, Sam, haven't you? But just that push for the payoffs needs consistency now. You can't have this win 1, lose 1, draw 1. Otherwise, you know when you're going to end up. You and 12.
It's the same every year, isn't it? We get near the playoffs and then we tell right off. It's almost as if the players are told, listen, we can't get to the playoffs. Even though that's what the fans want, we cannot get to the playoffs. Do they? I'd love to see this little bit investment and get us this goal scorer and take us to that next level.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right. Let's move on then, shall we, from the Coventry game and look forward. Ethan, I'm going to say we're recording this before the midweek game, so we'll look towards Blackburn if that's okay. Let's do a quick remind ourselves of what happened on the reverse fixture. You won't want reminding. Back in September, it was back from the international break, this one. It was a funny one where we'd had 2 weeks off and then you strolled up to Ewood. Was this one of the most disappointing away performances, Ethan, that you remember?
I'll jump in front of Ethan. That was on my birthday. And I went away. Yeah. and they ruined my birthday, Bristol City.
Yeah, by far one of the worst. There's been quite a lot of contenders away from home this year. It's not the first time, not the second time we've lost 3-0. So, yeah, no, it's unacceptable. But it's at the minute it's a typical away performance.
You know what you're going to get with the John Eustace side away from home, don't you? I mean, Oxford managed to sneak it past them this weekend with a good free kick, but Liam, it's going to be tight, cagey. You're not going to get many chances, so you have to take them when you get them.
Yeah, it's not going to be a 5-0 drubbing like it was last season. Let's put it that way. I think the home form that we're on, I wouldn't say it necessarily plays into our favour, but I think we can all relax a little bit to think our home form has been pretty good recently. But if we play like we did yesterday, we might as well just hand Blackburn the 3 points now. It was diabolical. I could use many a word, but I don't want to go that way, unfortunately. But it'll be a tough game as long as we play to our strengths. And I think Man, he has to get hold of him. Even look at himself. You asked the question about him making like-for-like changes and stuff. I saw him yesterday. We went 1-0 down, and it took him 10, 15 minutes to make any sort of changes. There's no proactiveness to what he does. I think he needs to get away from that. But it's not going to be an easy game by any stretch of imagination, Blackburn.
Ben, do you think the playoffs is wide open? Because we talk about Blackburn themselves. They've been on a bit of a dodgy run. Middlesbrough are fed up of Carrick. West Brom a little bit of state of flux at the moment. Watford can't win away from home. It's wide open, isn't it? Fifth and sixth.
Yeah, definitely. It kind of makes it more painful because I feel like it's one of the more wide open it's been for quite a few years now. We're almost in touch and distance, really, which makes it painful. But we have to start beating the teams around us if we're going to do it. That's the most important thing. We have to be picking up points against teams around us. Over Christmas, we beat the teams lower down, Luton, Portsmouth. But if we're never ever going to get anywhere if we don't start beating teams like Blackburn.
We asked AA last week to predict your home fixtures. This week, we've asked them to look at trips on the road and see how many points you're going to pick up. Let's have a look at what they said. So first of all, there's 9 fixtures left to go, and if you have a look at your run, I mean you've got quite a tough running compared to others. You've still got to go to the top 3. In Sheffield United, Leeds and Burnley, but then apart from that, it looks all right, doesn't it, Sam?
Yeah, definitely. Looking at that, I take the away wins at Cardiff and Millwall 100%. But I do still think there is a few more points for us to pick up on the road there.
Yeah, so AI predicts 8 more points, which doesn't sound a lot, does it? Losses at the 2 Sheffield clubs and the return to Oxford and Burnley and QPR with wins at Cardiff and Millwall. Ethan, do you think based on how your away form has gone, is that likely to be overestimating or underestimating what you reckon?
I think points-wise we'll be there or thereabouts. So I'm really hoping we don't lose on Wednesday. I'm being naive enough to make the trip down. But, I think maybe I really hope we win, like Liam said, the Cardiff and Millwall game. But, if we pick up a win at Luton, say, rather than Millwall or something like, you know what I mean? Around 8 or 9 points, hopefully. But, yeah, I'm not looking forward to it, put it that way.
It would be nice to go away to Leeds on that last away game of the season and ruin their promotion party or something. Exactly the same as what we done to Brighton a few years ago.
I think the draw they're predicting there is because the assumption is that Leeds will be done and dusted by then, and they won't give a toss about who they're putting out. Liam, what needs to change away from home though if your current form is away from home is gonna be different? Be more adventurous or more? Yeah,
definitely for me, especially if we're behind in games. The man has to come away from his 3-4-2-1 system. Like the guy said earlier, we just made like subs yesterday. We could have gone 4-3-3 stuck another centre forward on. He's just not adventurous enough. We just have to find. We haven't won away for 6 games. We just have to be hard to beat. At the moment, we're too easy to score against away from home. We lost the ball yesterday. The goal was a bit comical for me yesterday. McNally tried playing out from the back, lost the ball. Ball was played in behind him, and then Dickie's not come over on the cover. So Santi's just had a complete run off the shoulder of McNally, and has had a free effort at goal. Max probably, maybe, I don't want to slate Max. Maybe he could have done better at the near post. But at the same time, I think he's hit it so quick. He hasn't had time to set himself.
It was a good finish by the lad, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
We just have to. It's almost like sometimes yesterday, the defense, even midfield, everyone, they're not taking responsibilities. They don't seem to be backing each other up at the moment, which is painful to see. And I think yesterday, when they were able to play through the lines into midfield, they were 3-on-3 at our back 3, and it was too easy. It was just too. We're just lucky enough. Both teams were poor.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, just adding to that as well. It felt like we were playing in slow motion, and like I know it's obviously different when you're watching a game from the stands, but you can see exactly what's going to happen with a good 4 or 5 seconds, and professional players can't see it. It's just mesmerising.
It's like they say in the stands, though. Professional football is an easy game to play when you're watching from the stands. Just put it on the pitch.
I'm not buying this notion that players are tired and jaded. Every team's the same. Every team is playing the same amount of games. 46 games every team plays. So if we're all tired and jaded, why do the other teams look like they're running around with still energy to burn?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it's just baffling. I don't get it.
All right. Well, home comforts this weekend against Blackburn. Fingers crossed for that one. Finally, then this week we are, of course, building up our worst ever Bristol City 11. Last week, if you joined us, this team put Nikita Hekin in goal. So then, Ben, let's kick this off with you, if that's all right. We're looking for 2 up top. What's the worst Bristol City striker you've ever seen?
I mean, we've had some appalling strikers over the years. We've signed some such bizarre players that just haven't really done anything. I think the one that stands out to me, someone that we barely saw, was a French striker in 2018, Diony, I think his name was. We came in January and we saw him. I mean, we barely saw him. He kind of featured here and there, but no goals, no assists. I mean, we've had an array of poor overseas signings that have just come in and had no impact whatsoever up top.
That's for one. Sam?
Yeah, well, obviously, you young boys never watched them play, but Bass Savage.
Oh, yeah.
Bass Savage has got to be number 1. Just look him up on YouTube. He's on Soccer AM for the worst ever miss, right? And then you go, like, even just before him, Steve Jones, I would say.
Okay. Some good shouts here. Ethan?
Savage and Diony are my 2, but I'd also just like to throw Mo Icer into the list, just because I remember vividly we had a cup game, I can't remember, lower league opposition, and he was injured right on the goal line. He needed to just get off the pitch, and he was injured, and we ended up scoring, and it didn't count because he just didn't get off the pitch, and I haven't let that go 8 years on. So yeah, he's a special mention.
Okay. Liam?
Well, I was going to go for Bass Savage as well, but I'm going to throw Christian Roberts into the mix. Apart from the goal against Hartlepool, I didn't rate him at all. You can hear cows ask for the banjo, that fella, as the commentators used to say.
No, I love Christian Roberts, mate. I loved Christian Roberts.
Okay.
If not him, then Paul Heffernan. I didn't see the thrill of Paul Heffernan either.
But Paul Heffernan come with such hype, and I was so pleased when we signed him. But he was awful for us.
You got another one, Phil Jevons as well. He was another one that had
Phil Jevons,
did nothing.
Okay. We'll have to put some of these in midfield, I think. Right.
Phil Jevons, probably Mark know him because he's.
I do know Everton. Yeah, absolutely.
And he used to live down the road from me, to be fair. Phil Jevons. he used to share a house with Scott Brown. Do you remember Scott Brown from
Yeah,
the
yeah.
UFC, Mark?
Yeah.
Centre
God,
midfielder.
it make me feel very old here.
Yeah, but yeah, he used to sort me out free tickets and that.
We can't put him in the worst Bristol City team, then, can we? Give us your shout outs in the below. Let us know if we've missed any. Next week we'll be adding to our defence. So we will have the worst ever backline that we've seen. So get thinking on the 4 players that need to go into that. I'm sure you have no trouble coming up with it, and our team will nearly be complete as we head through up the city then against Blackburn this weekend. Good luck. Enjoy the game, you 4. Enjoy your trip to Sheffield as well, those of you are going, and we'll see you in 7 days' time. Drop us a subscribe, get us to 100, sit here and discuss the Blackburn game. We would massively appreciate it. Cheers, fellas. Have a great week.